Yo, so the good people at Signature sent me a cross Red Sonja. Okay, so this is the new film from MJ Bassett, written by Tasha Huo. Right, the film is produced by MJ Bassett, Krista Campbell, Mark Canton, Joe Gatter, Jeffrey Greenstein, Lati Grubman. It is Avi Lerner, Yariv Lerner, Luke Lieberman, Courtney Solomon, Les Weldon, and Jonathan Younger. It is executive produced by Robert Van Norden, John Thompson, Joey Soloway, Gail Simone, Trevor Short, Sebastian Cyril Watts, Lonnie Ramati, Darina Pavlova, Tana Mobley, Heidi Jo Markel, Scott Carroll, Victor Hadida, Samuel Hadida, Stephen R. Foret, Boz Davidson, Dorothy Canton, and Nick Barucci. It is associate produced by I swear I saw someone. Okay, John Yarnick co-produces, along with Joe Smith, Christina Serafini, Sam Shuttle, Shannon Kingston, with line production from Eleanor Meladed. Okie dokie. Right, we have score from Giona Ostinelli and Sonia Belasova. Lorenzo Senator takes care of cinematography. Veslin Lazarov, Andrew McRitchie, Jeffrey Steinkamp, they edit the piece. Right, casting was Elaine Granger. Clint Wallis is production design. Art direction is Emil Gigov and Ivan Ranghelov. We have Eliza Banzakova, Orlin Gordanzov, Natalie Lenz, Penelope Renee Stems, and Margarita Zareva. They all took care of set decoration. Alison McCosh is costume design. Hair and makeup, we've got Bernice Allen, Nicola Anderola, Holly Arbones, Maria Astrin, Daniela Avramova, Julia Babonska, Holly D. Bailey, Sashka Beleva, Raquel Barbara, Madeleine Bassett, Rebecca Bush, Charlie Blut, Dave Bunnywell, Marina Boshnakova, Vera Boydacheva, Georgia Brown, William Brown, Joe Browning, Rebecca Butterworth, Rebecca Kane, Susanna Cazell, Anna Sheehan, Lauren Clark, Gail Cooper, Sebastian Coppola, Anthony Davis, Camille Dalit, Samantha Di Giuseppe, Amy Dudley, Georgia Fernley, Rachel Gannon, Rachel Gatt, Jordan Glancy, Claire Golby, Christopher Godman, Caroline Goring, Neil Gorton, Lizzie Grant, Brad Greenwood, Gabrielle Geroni, Ali Holloway, Stephanie Havett, Laura Howard, Sophie Havleva, Anna Ivanova, Ivan Ivanova, Natasha Giggins, Adam Keenanan, Morgan Kimber. Oh boy, actually there's thousands of people listed. We will stop there as that was getting crazy. Right, let us get to our cast, because I cannot find the stunt information. Okay, so we have got Matilda Lutz playing Red Sonja. We have got Dragan played by Robert Sheehan. Annisia played by Wallis Day. Osin the Untouched, played by Luca Pasqualino. Hawk is played by Michael Bisping. General Karlak, played by Martin Ford. Eliza Matangu, played by Amarak. Eliza Matangu plays Amarak, even. Danica Davis plays Teresia. Vala is played by Jonah Nawaru. Manel El-Feitury is Aya. Ben Radcliffe is Dayax. Savus is played by Katrina Durden. Master Crudelis is played by Trevor Eve. Coulter is played by Tim McCullen. King Anus is played by Timur Vinchev. Petra is played by Rona Micha. Sonja's mum and Ashraf is played by Veronica Ferris. Hespera is played by Diana Libanova. And that's probably our main lot of people, you know. The gist of the story: a young girl rises from the ashes of tragedy to become the most feared warrior woman of all time, the she-devil with a sword, Red Sonja. Yeah, look, Red Sonja is a classic character, you know, created by Robert E. Howard. You know, there was great Marvel comics written by Roy Thomas, and it got made into a film, right? Bridget Nelson played Sonja, and I mean, it was fun, right? It wasn't really Red Sonja, but it was fun, you know? It kind of fit the Conan the Barbarian, Conan Destroyer films. It was weird because Schwarzenegger was in Sonja, but not as Conan, which is very bizarre. But yeah, you know, there's been talk for ages about a new Red Sonja film. And especially when we had the Jason Momoa Conan film, which not the best, right? But there was talk, new talk of a Red Sonja film. And when you look at the history of this, it went through so many different writers and directors, which then once you watch it, you go, okay, that explains a lot, right? That explains a lot. So it's funny because it's down as Tasha Huo is writing the script, but supposedly when MJ Bassett came on to direct, he rewrote the script, you know? So how much of this is whose work, I don't know, you know? I don't know. Supposedly she's a very good writer, right? She wrote the Netflix Lara Croft cartoon, which I think got good, good ratings and all of that jazz, right? And she did the Witcher even, Blood Origin, which I still have not watched. But this is just a bit of a mess, really. It's funny, right? Because there's things that they've said about it, right? Our main character, right? The actress, Matilda Lutz, who plays Sonja. Now, she said, the film will differ in tone from the male gaze of the comics. So Dynamite Entertainment, they got the rights to the character and they did a whole comic book series, several actually. They weren't the best, you know? A lot of their stuff is really kind of tit and ass, you know? And so I get we're not doing the male gaze bit, right? So she said that. But the character's trademark bikini will remain the main costume for the film. Which you're kind of like, if you're saying you're gonna get away from the male gaze, you would get rid of that costume. Because the costume makes no sense. Right? It makes absolutely no sense for anyone to wear a bikini like that. Right? Because armor. When knights wear armor, they wear, cloth, like a leather, like tunic and things underneath the armor. Because if you wore metal on skin, your skin would get flayed. You know what I mean? But she's just gonna wear a metal bikini. Like, what are we doing? There's a bit when she gets given this bikini, and what is very bizarre about the whole thing, there are other female gladiators, but she's the only one that has to wear this bikini. And guess what? It's the perfect size, right? It fits exactly. And you're just like, really? That's what we're doing. And even when we have this bit and she demands better weapons, she gets given a upgraded metal bikini. And you're just like, that was the opportunity to get rid of that. Be like, okay, we showed the metal bikini. Now we can just put her in some better clothing and have this make sense. And they didn't. Right? It's the perfect opportunity to do that, to update it. Because I don't think anyone who's a fan of Red Sonja is just like, yeah, it's all about the metal bikini. Like, it's stupid. It's dumb. And they didn't take the opportunity to go, we're getting rid of this and we're moving to this, you know? So you're just kind of baffled by the whole thing. Like, when she does do this whole demand for better weaponry, she gets given this, like, really intricate sword. And you're just like, why would they have that as a weapon for a gladiator? You know, like, it just wouldn't happen. Like, you know, I mean, when you watch Gladiator, right, they used the gladius, which was a thing, right? They did, you know, in Hollywood and everything, where they could go crazy and introduce silly weapons and things like that, they did keep it in reality, right? Gladiuses, plain swords, you know? But no, in this, there's supposedly, we're meant to believe they're giving away these intricate weapons, right? Which you're like, oh no, what are we doing? What are we doing? It's like, we start off the film, so we have Sonja basically kind of doing a little bit of narration, and then we set off with, you know, little kids in the street playing, and everyone all hanging around and being like, oh, la, 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 la. And it's kind of funny because you've got all the kids, you've got like this mixed race mob of kids, but then most of the adults are all white. So you're just like, wait, where do all these kids come from if all your adults are essentially white? Like, it's silly. But what is worse than that, right? You've got these kids playing, everyone's happy, and then suddenly this army bursts through the doors. And you're just like, okay, if there was an army riding horses, you would have heard them ages before they got to your gate. There is no way that many people can creep up on you. And that happens so many times in the film, that suddenly an army out of nowhere, right? And you're just like, how is it no one heard all of these fucking people coming? What are we doing? This is ridiculous, you know? So yeah, that's how the film kind of starts. And we just have a lot of played out themes, right? Like two kids running, and then, you know, they can't hold each other's hand, and they get separated. Or it's like, oh, right? We've seen it so many times. And just because we have seen something doesn't mean we don't have to see it again, right? Because different people, different interpretations, boom, 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 all of that jazz, right? So it can still work. It doesn't work here, right? We have this weird mismatch of a film. And a lot of the actors are decent actors. They've been in good things, whether it be TV or film. We've seen them give us good performances. So you can only put this down to the direction. And it's not surprising because M.J. Bassett directed Solomon Kane. Solomon Kane was not a good film. Solomon Kane bombed, right? It was a mess. So you bring someone that already botched a Robert E. Howard film adaptation, right? And you go, you know what? You were terrible the first time. We're going to let you have another stab. Yeah, that makes so much sense, right? There's people that have done good jobs with, like, you know, genre films. Bring someone like that in, you know? Bring someone like that in. Like, you know, Elliot Lester did a tremendous job with the thicket. Like, bring someone like that on top. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of person you want on something like this. Now, Elliot might not want to do it, right? But at least have a conversation. Or, as I say, there's other people of the same caliber as Lester, right? Bring those in. But Because what we have is this weird, like, this is basically what, I've said it so many times, right? It's one of them films that gets played at 4 a.m. in the morning, right? It is one of those straight to DVD joints from back in the day. This wouldn't have gone to the cinema. This would be like straight to DVD, It's one of them. It's Lion King 4. It's just because we have all these people, fighting and all of this, but no one looks like they could carry a sword, right? The fights, not believable fights, right? You do not buy any of the action. You have people doing moves that you're going, but you're wearing armor. There's no way you could do that. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like jumping from a height where you'd be like, you would break your legs. But they're doing a flip and shooting an arrow at the same time. Like, we're seeing all of this. But the main thing, you're having all of these fights, but then your white clothes are perfect. And you're just like, wait, huh? No. Like, what are we doing? Like, it doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? People riding through mud and there's no mud splatter, anything like that. Right? People getting stabbed in the stomach, but still able to get on a horse. Like, it's just baffling. Like, it's baffling. We have character, like, no character really gets fleshed out. No one. Not really even Sonja. Right? We get some little glimpse, like backstory glimpse, this as a kid, this happened and she was kidnapped, right? That whole sequence at the beginning and all of this. But it still doesn't really give us anything. This whole thing about the book. But it's just like, wait, how was the book used in the first place for someone to become emperor? How is this book able to make you do that? You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, and then the other bit, of story around the book, right? You're just like, okay, that, like, it wasn't obvious that was be it. Sure. I mean, you can't tell me you're reading this book and you're saying one bit is this and then the other bit is that. Like, that doesn't, it doesn't make any sort of sense, right? I think for a story to work, you want a lead. You want a legitimate, like, threat. A legitimate threat that you'll be like, oh, fuck, that's the big bad, that's the evil, that's the, we do not have that here. Right? Partly the dialogue is terrible. Like, it's terrible dialogue, right? People giving these weird speeches that do not rouse any form of emotion. So if we do not believe the threat, the film itself has no credibility. It just doesn't work. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, right? You have characters who, I don't know, I guess you would kind of class them as they're meant to be main characters, but the way they get written off is just, wait, that's it? Like, it means nothing. So there's no impact. There should be an impact, right? It's like, I remember watching like Highlander, and when Sean Connery's character dies, you're like, no. You know what I mean? It meant something. You're just like, fuck. right, I can see why McLeod's gonna look for vengeance now, right? That's the thing. When Brandon Lee's girlfriend dies in The Crow, right, you go, oh yeah, that's why he's gonna kick ass now, right? These things mean something. So then it creates the tension and the pivot in the film. So it all works, it all comes together, you know? It gives you that emotional impact. And we do not have that emotional impact here. Right, they kind of, it feels like they tried to make it kind of style over substance, but even the style just doesn't work, right? Like back in the day, there was a TV series called Rome on HBO. It went 2 seasons. I think at the time it was the most expensive TV show, and they're just like, yo, this is too expensive to go anymore. But it was really freaking good. Like Ray Stevenson started off in Rome. He was Pulos, I believe. It was just really freaking good. But there was this other TV like series. It was a kind of a limited series. I believe it was on ABC. In the States, I forget how I saw it, but it was kind of a similar, it was looking at a similar period in Rome, and that one, it was bad, right? It was all shiny and perfect white teeth, and again, people's clothes never got dirty, and right, so you just didn't buy it. It didn't sell Rome to you. But the HBO series, oh man, they did it so well, right? You bought into everything. The characters spoke to you, like the set design, the score, just all of the components worked, right? And that is the thing. It's got to do that. And Red Sonja, just on every level, it kind of flounders. And it's I don't want it to be this, right? As I said, I enjoy the character, you know? Like, Conan the Barbarian is great. Robert E. Howard, man, it's like this pulpy action. He wrote fun shit. And so it's a shame that what we get is just this pale reflection of what could have been a tentpole, right? You could have told so many stories, right? So many stories, right? Which then could have given you the opportunity to bring Conan back. And, you know what I mean? Just all these other characters that Howard wrote. You could do spin-offs and introduce and just there's so much fertile ground, and it just kind of gets wasted. And even with the end, right, they do set it up like, and there will be more, and you're just like, please don't. Please don't. Or give us a good director, a good writer. Like, the casting is terrible, you know, across the board. So just better casting. Like, you know, for something like this, right, they don't need to be huge muscle-bound people, but they've got to look like they, you know what I mean, are hardy, right? That they can wield a sword, that they walk and ride and just do all of this stuff. So it's not it's functional muscle, right? And, you know, there's so many MMA fighters, female MMA fighters, that you just think, oh, they would be great. Because you just so retired ones going into acting, like, you know, Michelle Waterstone. Now, she's too short, right? She couldn't play Red Sonja. But she is the caliber of person that you want to be playing someone like Red Sonja, because you would buy it. Michelle Waterstone was in Havoc, right? That Tom Hardy Netflix film. The film's bad, but Michelle Waterstone was frigging awesome in it. She was so good. She was the bright spark of that film, you know? So that's the thing. You put in a person that you go, oh yeah, that is Sonja, right? And it's not that hard. But, you know, even when you look at all the history of the film, some of the people, they feel like, oh, we want to, like, they wanted Amber Heard at one point to be Sonja. And you're just like, I mean, that's terrible. Right? Just because she's got red hair, was that it? You know what I mean? Like, these things have to make sense. And unfortunately, Red Sonja didn't make any sort of sense, which is a shame. But here's the thing. If you enjoyed Solomon Kane, if you enjoyed the Jason Momoa, Conan the Barbarian, right? If you enjoyed those straight to DVD Scorpion King sequels, you know what I mean? Like, I think it was that Vin Diesel, is it The Witch Hunter or something, The Last of the Witch Hunters, something like that, right? If you enjoyed that, you know, Van Helsing, right? If those make you chuckle, if those make you smile, then yes, you will like Red Sonja. Red Sonja is made for you. Because there will be plenty of people that enjoy this film. And that is awesome. You know? Everyone needs something, you know what I mean? So if it's going to light someone's day, incredible. But yeah, this wasn't for me. Wasn't for me, man. So it's out on Friday, and the DVD Blu-ray of it will be out on the 8th of September. So if you're all about physical media, then 8th of September, you can buy a DVD or a Blu-ray of Red Sonja. So yeah, people, did you watch this? Let me know what you think. Right? Have you seen the Bridget Nielsen version? How do you think it holds up? For me, it's the Nielsen version. You know what I mean? But hey, let me know your thoughts, Red Sonja.